Welcome to Women of the World, a show which gives a voice to women from around the world who have chosen to make the United States their home. Our program believes in the principles written on and symbolized by the Statue of Liberty. Here's today's moderator, Uma Jenga.
Hello everyone, welcome to Women of the World. My name is Uma Jenga, I'm your host. Before we begin, let me introduce a wonderful co-host who is here with me today, Nadia Jordana. Hi Nadia.
Hi, happy to be here today.
Nice to see you. And now it's my pleasure to invite a guest who is also one of our co-hosts, Anne Makena. Hi Anne Makena.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful and thanks for having me here today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming. And thank you so much for bringing in a special guest along with you. Would you like to introduce her?
Hi everyone. Our special guest is Sally Makena, who is my daughter. Hi Sally.
Hi, Mama. It's
Hi.
good to be here.
You are welcome.
Hi Sally, are you excited to be here?
Yes.
We are excited too. Thank you, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me over.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, today in our show, we are going to discuss about Anne Makena's family trip to Kenya, which she went this spring. She just went along with her family, not just to visit her relatives, but also to support an orphanage. She went there to finish off a registration process with respect to a home that she is starting for orphans. It's very kind of her. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now, when she was in Kenya, she gave a presentation to some of her students out there. And so now she would like to give that presentation right to us. And here is the presentation. And then our special guest, Sally, will recite a poem following that. Now here for the presentation.
Hello viewers. Anne Makena, as you've heard, when I was in Kenya, I had such an honor to speak to the lives of some orphans, lots of them, along with the community that supports them. And basically, I spoke to them regarding labels. Labels are very powerful, and it's very important for us to learn how to choose our own labels. So that's what I'm going to be sharing just a little bit with you today. What is a label? It's basically a description of something, a person, a group, a thing. And when it comes to us as human beings, a label is something that gives information about you. Very powerful. How do labels come about? Basically, they come about in various ways, whether it's parents speaking to their children. When a child does something wrong and we call that child stupid every time they do something wrong, it starts to have an impact on that child. And they often will start feeling like they are stupid. When it comes to doctors, they don't mean to, but many people have, for example, the label of disability. And when people receive a label of disability, they stop to think about their strengths and they start to think about their disability. Get a check from the government, and all of a sudden, we don't want to do anything because we feel we have a disability. However, as powerful as labels are, that's the importance of us learning to choose our own labels. We do have people in our societies that have labels. Steve Wonder has a disability. He's blind, but he's one of the most known musicians of the world. And that shows that we really can choose our own label that define our destiny. How do we do that? How do we choose our labels? The most important thing, and that's the point that I'm just going to talk about today due to time, is understanding your identity. Who are you? That's not based on our work. It's not based on what we do. and the titles and the money that we attach to. Who we are is our name, our values, our beliefs, our weaknesses, our strengths. That's the kind of things that make who we are. We need to understand our identity and be grounded in it. Because once you understand who you really are, you cannot receive unnecessary labels from unnecessary sources. Then you are able to choose what defines you, and you are able to discard what does not define you. Because success doesn't come based on physical ability. It basically comes out of what we think about ourselves. What do I think about me? That's what's gonna define me, not what other people think or say. As a person, I have had tons of opportunities to be labeled, but I don't accept the labels because I made up my mind. There is not a single person in the world that knows me as much as I know myself. So I choose my labels. And I also have made up my mind that I'm gonna choose the labels for my children. When my daughter was born, she was only 2 pounds, and there were other circumstances. And I had to choose labels for her based on what I believed to be her destiny. That has turned her life around. She's thriving and growing and doing the things she loves to do and helping others. My son was not expected to survive at birth, and he was actually one of the people labeled disabled at birth. He was not expected to talk, live, do anything. But I choose to choose labels and reject the disability. I looked at his strengths and focused on his strengths. In spite of having 20 brain surgeries and wrestling a severe battle with seizures, he is a 15-year-old author who is speaking about his story and inspiring people. And I know many people like him. Therefore, what am I trying to say? No one knows you like you know yourself. Do not let anyone label you. Choose your own label. Choose labels for your children and train them how to choose their own labels as they get older. May God bless you. And with that, I am going to extend the invitation to my daughter, Sally Makena, who is here with us, and she will inspire you with a powerful poem. Sally, you go, girl.
Thanks, Mommy. My name is Sally Mwendwa Makena, and I'm going to recite to you a poem entitled Our Deepest Fear by Mariam Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your plain small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And as we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Thank you.
That was just great.
Thank you.
Very inspiring.
That was wonderful, Sally. Thank you, Anne, for your wonderful presentation, and thank you, Sally.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's get to your trip, since we are talking more about your trip. So you You are a strong mom. Based on your presentation, I found that you are really a strong mom, and you are an author too. So, but what motivated you to get into this charitable organization thing?
So growing up, I was raised in a community that was needy.
Okay.
And my mother was a social worker, so she was involved with helping a lot of orphans, abandoned children, women. So I got exposed to a lot of people suffering at a young age.
So your mother was a good example for you.
Yes.
How nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as I got older and came to United States, I had a dream in my heart. And as I settled, I started feeling a need to go back and touch the lives of people in any way that I could, especially with the situation. There's high poverty levels, there's a lot of disease, we have children in the streets, there's a lot of HIV. So as I got older and got to understand more how these things affect people, my heart was pulled to do something about it. And that's what started me off the journey.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
How long were you in Kenya, and when was that time period? When were you there?
So first of all, I was born and raised in Kenya.
That's what you, okay, but when you went back this
Summer.
this last summer.
Okay, yeah. So this last summer we went, my family, Sally, Nate, Steve, and myself. We went for 1 month, and we were gone mid-June to mid-July. And so we were there for 1 month, a very busy month.
So, Sally, you went along with your mom too. So, how did you feel? What did you do there?
I met my grandpa and grandma and my aunts and uncles, and we went to an orphanage, and there was one with it where I went with my cousin Glory, and we went on a playground. Then we went to an orphanage where babies were,
Okay.
and there were 11 cribs, and the only place they could play was under the cribs.
Oh,
And there was this newborn baby named Mary, and Mom let me hold her, and so I really felt like taking her home with me.
That would be the urge, wouldn't it?
I
Yeah.
know.
How nice.
So, did you enjoy there most?
Yeah.
What did you enjoy there other than that?
I went. The thing is, I really wanted to see Glory
Okay.
more than anything else. So when we went there, it was the middle of the night, and I don't remember if she was awake or asleep. But I got to stay at her house for some time.
Okay. So you went there, to open up a home. So it's still in the process, or what did you do in the trip? What was the main reason?
So the main reason for our going to Kenya, particularly this summer, was to finalize all the registration.
Okay.
The registrations, we started these registrations. First of all, the organization is registered here in Minnesota.
Okay.
Cities Heart Cry Ministries. And along with the board members that are just amazing, wonderful people that have been very involved and very supportive. We started the process of registration in Kenya because to operate in Kenya, we needed something on the ground that we could work with.
Okay.
So we had to register a sister organization.
Okay.
And that organization is called Heart Cry Organization.
Okay.
It's fully registered, non-governmental organization in Kenya, which is wonderful, very thankful. That process took 2 years.
Okay.
And so it was fully registered in August of last year, 2016.
Okay.
That's when we planned our trip for 2017, just to go there, make sure the registration is done the right way, that we have all the paperwork in process, because we do have the issue of corruption in Kenya.
Okay.
We did not want to go that route. We wanted everything done the right way, and it was. And that was the major reason we went to Kenya. We wanted to make sure everything was done right, and we wanted to complete other processes like making sure the organization had its own account, because we do have an account here, and we want to be able to operate from the account here to the account in Kenya. That way there is proper accountability of funds. So we went there and we participated in completing all those final processes.
Okay.
And then they were left finishing up. There was one document they had to work on, renovating a house
Okay.
that we found while we were there, a beautiful house. We talked about renting it and the terms behind it, and but it needed a lot of renovation. So that house needed to be renovated, and it's looking beautiful now. It's almost done with the renovation. But they also had to get the final document from the child welfare officer. That document specifically allows us as an organization to start adopting children and bringing them into the home. That took longer than it was supposed to, but today I'm happy to share that the meeting happened this week, and that document is going to be given to us in about a week.
Oh, how exciting.
So pretty much January we are opening the home.
That's very nice.
So when will it officially be open?
January.
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 So it'll start 2018. Will you go back in 2018? Will you have to go back and visit each year? Do you have plans for that?
That is our plan. Obviously, going through the registration, I had to resign from my position of work. I was working as a chaplain, and I had to resign in order to do the registration. It was a lot of work, very tasking. I could not do it and hold a job. So I had to resign. Although in the process I did other very exciting things, but that took a toll on our family financially. And so we are at a very joyful place, because the reason for our sacrifice, we are seeing it now and we are very excited. But we are now in a place where we are trusting God that we can be able to go to Kenya once a year at least and see what's happening and continue monitoring it. So do we plan on going back in 2018? We are praying about it. We are hoping we can. However, we do have a very strong team in Kenya. So we do have a board here, board members. We have 9 people that are in our board here. So people that we really trust, people that are believers in God and what's right, and very anti-corruption. So it took us a long process to register because we won't bribe, but it's done the right way. And that's the team that we are working with in Kenya. So we know, even though we are not physically there, everything is happening the right way, and we are very happy for that.
It's nice to have people there you can trust.
Yes.
That you can count on. And what about some of the people there in the community and the children? What are some of the special needs that you'll be addressing with this facility?
So because of the poverty levels and the HIV disease that claimed the lives of many adults, there is children that are left in the streets. We have from babies that are collected from dumpsters, newborn babies where mothers have a child and put the child in a dumpster and walk away. And it's not so much because they don't care. You know, some of the situations are so critical and so pathetic. I truly believe they don't know what else to do. So they put the children and the babies in dumpsters, and some are in the streets. And so when we go there, that's what we are observing. And that's the kind of needs that we are trying to address. And what is unique about our approach is that we want to raise standards for these children. So we don't just want to feed them and watch them grow, but we want to inspire them to be all that they were meant to be. So by encouraging them, by providing high standards
And
for these
education
children,
too?
education,
Nice. That's really
you know,
nice.
raising their faith, that way when they get older, then they are not getting caught up in the poverty again and going down the drain again, but that they are making a difference. So our approach is to provide high standards and also to advocate for orphans across board, because some of those that are even in the orphanages there are not treated very well. So we want to advocate so that the focus of the orphanages become the children, their safety. The people working in the homes need to have the focus on how to better these children's life and not looking at them as the less fortunate and threatening them, reminding them that you're lucky to be here. But the children need to feel that they belong and they own their home like our children do in our homes. So we want to take a very active role of advocating for orphans. We also would like to revisit the law in Kenya that says that there cannot be international adoptions.
So they have laws against international adoption?
Yes,
All of them or
all of them.
Okay.
Like you cannot go to Kenya and adopt a child
Okay.
if you don't live in Kenya and you know, basically you live there, you are Kenyan. You cannot go there and adopt a child. And my understanding is because of trafficking, which makes sense, but then it doesn't make sense in another sense, because going to the other opposite side of the pendulum is that these children end up in the streets. And these children being molested and going through all kinds of abuse in the streets. So while we are saying we don't want the children to be trafficked, it doesn't make sense to put them in the streets or to have them in the streets
the
rather.
intentions were good, but there's
Right.
a backlash that's
Yep.
Right. So what can be done to find a middle ground? Because there is adoption agencies that are legal and that investigate adoptive parents to make sure that the children are being protected. I believe there is something that we can find that can have a middle ground so that when international people want to adopt, they are able to adopt safely. And so these are some of the things that we are hoping to do, is advocate, just get out of the box and do more.
And once you start making some progress, you'll be able to feel like you're making it builds on that momentum.
Definitely.
Right.
And when you have kids, you know, there must be many kids, you know, who like great grandparents must be willing to take them back to. Is there any way that you contact the family members to unite them to the family, or is there any other approach that you take in that angle too, or?
Yes, we have talked about that. So if there are some families that are open to taking some of these children, we have talked about it and are still trying to figure out how best can we help a child that has probably an aunt that want to take an orphan in, but they don't have the means to educate that child. Is there a way that we can come in and help these children be with family, but at the same time receive education? And also educating families, because some of the families take the orphan child or the abandoned children and turn them into their servants in the house. So these are all issues that are facing the orphans and the abandoned children that, you know, I may not have the full understanding, but we would like to explore and see what things can be done differently. And so those are some of the goals, as well as educating even the women, the girls, empowering them. Yeah.
It's truly heart-touching.
Yes, it really is. I'm glad you're making progress. and
Definitely, you know, it's
I'm glad to hear this story because we need more people doing that, and especially if there are no international adoptions, it's best for at least to do what you can right there in Kenya for these children.
Okay, Anna, is there any other website you would like to give us so we can get more information regarding your organization?
Yes, we do have websites that will be available. And then I also would like to introduce my new book. It's my newest. It's book number 4, but this one is Parenting Children into Wholeness. The focus in this book is building strong relationships between children and parents, as well as maximizing potential for the children. So children are such a passion of my heart. And I also want to say that I'm very thankful to my daughter Sari for being here in the studio with us today. And thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you so much. That was really wonderful. We really enjoyed your presentation and our special guest Sally's poem too. Thank you so much, Anna, for coming here.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching and being here with us today. See you all next time.